Hi, all, and welcome to Monday Night's All Meta Mode podcast with myself, Amanda Digger DeGaz. Tonight, Gypsy is traveling and she's doing a talk at a local metal detecting club in East Texas, so she will not make the show tonight. So, with no further ado, I'm going to bring on Audra Thomas from Jersey History Hunter. Welcome to the show, Audra.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing well. Very excited I got to see you not that long ago, which is great because I hadn't seen you in almost 2 years.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to see you guys, and it has been 2 years too long.
Yes, very, very too long, way too long. So I think I saw you got out today.
I did. I went out with Bobby Pastor, who's in the chat here. Dude, what's up?
Hey.
We went out. I had off. It was a beautiful day. He found a largie. I'm jelly. I got a musket ball, though, so I'm super happy about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great day. So we stayed local. We went to a cool place we go to every once in a while, and we usually tend to pull something out.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Hey, Deeds is here. Hey, Deeds.
A lot of people. I think Miss Emily's in the house, and Mike, and I saw Bobby's in the house, and Swamp Fox, and Bill Hayes, and Wayne. Got a lot of people in chat tonight, so that's great. Always good to have you all.
Yeah, and Mama Kitty says hello to everybody. Yeah.
Hello. Right, meow.
I feel like I should say, hey, friends.
So I know a lot of listeners, I know we have a lot of new listeners, so they might not have caught, any of the prior shows or know who you are. Can you give us a little back history on how long you've been digging, what type of detecting you like to do?
All right. Well, let's see. I'm 21 years old, and I started digging about 30 years ago.
That's a good way to put it.
It's been off and on, it wasn't serious. Back then there wasn't even a YouTube, so I wasn't like as addicted as I am now.
Yeah.
But it was random metal detecting, and in high school I started doing a little bit more, but then I have so many hobbies, I never put a lot of time into each one type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think it was in my 30s, someone outed me on Facebook for an article that I had found some World War II medals. And the newspaper got a hold of the story, and ran a clip and everything. And they tagged me on Facebook. So everybody knew I detected then,
So the rest is history.
Yeah, and then I got addicted to YouTube, and I just love the videos. And I just got addicted to that then. So I consider myself a YouTuber and a detectorist, a bottle digger, a mudlarker. Not as much as you. I love your mudlarking.
Thanks.
Stuff is amazing. But I love a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, the plain treasure hunting, just the treasure hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it.
That's great. So what detector or detectors are you going between right now?
Well, right now, my Old Faithful is still the AT Pro. Mm-hmm. I love it. And I just got, thanks to Joe Setti, who just popped in the chat, he hooked me up with Allison, American Digger, who sold me XP Deus.
Nice.
So I'm learning it. I'm, spending some time with it. So I blame that on why I didn't get any coins today with Bobby. So I could use that excuse for maybe, another month.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree. I'm doing the same thing right now with Apex. So
Okay.
I got out yesterday with Jim Chahuras. He came up to Maine, and so I had him come over. And same thing. I'm like, yep, it's the new machine. Just got to put the time behind it, right?
Yeah, it'll just take a little time.
Yes.
But there's so many different, modes. So, and each one is different with the Deo. So right now I'm on basic. So I'm getting the feel of that. Like with the AT Pro, I could put it on anything. I like to go, on Pro 0.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm just going to bring them both and kind of go back and forth for a while.
I now have to leave one. I have to leave my the older known machine at home because I was getting frustrated and I knew in the back of my head, well, I'll just go switch and get the other detector.
I do it all the time.
I'm like, I'm never going to learn this new one if I don't actually put the time and effort behind it. So
yeah, I know, it's crazy. And then I, once in a while I have used the Knox 600, and of course I started. I actually started with the white.
Oh, which one?
And it was like the Coin Master or something.
Yep.
I think I got it in the yard sale. And back then I always took everything apart. So I took it apart, I don't know why, but I did. And there's really not a lot in that box, like a little circuit board and a speaker. And then, the rest of it was for the batteries.
Yep.
But then I went to the old Radio Shack, and then the bounty hunters, and then I had a collection of like 6 bounty hunters. I love them.
Did you have different coils on each, or just a couple different?
No, just different models, like the tracker and all the. Basically, I gave most of them away on my live stream. But now I have like 2.
Now, you said you do more than just metal detecting, dump digging and magnet fishing. And so how did you get into actually the treasure hunting aspect of like what you do now? And
well, when I started, it was mostly metal detecting on the beach. That's all I really knew about because, like I said, there was no YouTube, there was no sharing information, and there was no Facebook. So all I knew about was detecting on the beach. And, that was cool. It was fun. I loved the thrill of the adventure, the chase for finding something, But I really like the relics, so I spend most of my time on the bay because there you could get the relics and the older coins. Because the jewelry on the beach is nice, but I really like the relics and the old coins.
Yes. And you've probably found out too, when you're doing the beach, you're constantly, whereas like you have to leave low and high tide, you get kind of thrown off, and it cuts your detecting time short.
It does. Compared you're always looking at the tides.
Yep. That's the same way it is with mudlarking as well.
Yeah, I love mudlarking too. So then it just evolved. Once, I really got into YouTube and social media. There weren't many that, it's really grown. It's grown so much.
Yeah.
But there really weren't too many channels back then. But I learned a lot. I really did. And then I expanded because, wow, I was like, oh, there's so much more. I could really find pirate treasure and colonial stuff and Revolutionary War things. This is amazing.
Yeah, generations and decades worth of different, it's actually centuries worth of different stuff. Now, we met originally, was it the Penguin Dig? Or one of those digs?
It was Pound the Ground.
Pound the Ground. All right. I was like, it was something down that way.
I think that was it. And I was like, oh my God, it's freezing. Do you have any extra hand warmers?
Oh, yeah. Yes, the box. Picked up the box of them. Like, but
they were great.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was Pound the Ground in Rhode Island. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, even before that. Yep. All right. So everyone in chat, I did put Audra's YouTube channel in there. For those that don't know, do you want to tell them about your social media accounts?
No, sure. So we have the YouTube channel, which on Tuesday nights, Bobby Pastor and I do Share the Love stream. It's a live stream where we like to share everyone's finds. They send us pictures and we pull them up and we share people's channels, because for us it's all about helping each other and promoting each other and just having fun, hanging out and getting to know each other. And so that's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. because I go to bed early. No. And then I have, the Instagram, the TikTok, Twitter, which I really don't do a lot of Twitter, but I have it. And the Facebook group. So they're all kind of linked together, and they're all pretty much about just promoting each other and sharing each other's adventures.
Yeah, it was a blast being on the show with you and Bobby. Yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And then it was neat. I was able to catch it last week for a little while, and it was so neat seeing everyone's finds brought up, and that was really cool. So
yeah, we love doing that. It's so great to see everything that everyone's finding in different areas, and it's just awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Bobby's picking on me. Bobby's picking on me in the chat.
Well, hey, I am too. This 8 o'clock, especially right now with the time change.
Yeah, I told you I had to take a nap just for this, because at 5:30 I was like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. And Bobby was saying the same thing. He went to bed last night at like 6.
Oh, I wish. I think I was up till it was worse. I think I was up till 11, and I'm never up late, usually never. And so yeah, tonight, rolls around at 5 this afternoon. It's dark out because of the time change in New England, the East Coast. It's dark at 5.
Cutting into our digging time.
It sure is. It sure is. And of course, but thankfully you got out today. It was a beautiful day compared to the cold that we've had. Yeah,
it really was. I was so happy I picked today for vacation day.
That's awesome. Tomorrow's supposed to be just as good too. Are you?
Yeah, probably even a little better.
Gonna have tomorrow off or?
No. Back to work.
Work always cuts into the good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Emily said she had a blast on the show because she came up too. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. So I think it was maybe 2 years ago. So it's probably been a little while. But what has been your favorite find to date? Finding, let's say metal detecting.
I still think it's the same one it was. I love them all. I love all the relics, but that the two of them, the German 1879 Reichs revolver, that gun, is just, I never imagined finding a German pistol in the middle of the woods. So that's definitely probably always going to be one of my favorite finds. And then the 18 karat gold brooch with the amethyst, because it's just beautiful.
It is. That is a beautiful find.
I love that. And bottles. I love bottles. So there's a few bottles I've gotten recently that are definitely my top 10. Just the real small little embossed bottles of like bike oil or whatever it is,
3-in-1 oil.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the meds and the pharmacy bottles?
I like the blob tops. I do like the meds and the pharmacies, but I just like the old sodas with the embossing.
Yeah.
The real small ones with embossing, because they're different. You don't really see, and they put like whole paragraphs on there. I got one for like medicine for kids with worms or something, and then like the kids love it.
Yum yum.
Yummy.
I agree with you.
And then I have one in Spanish.
Ooh,
so that's interesting.
That's neat.
Yeah,
that's very neat. I was going to say, I absolutely agree about the paragraphs. That last mudlarking trip I had with Gypsy, I found a little bottle that had a lot of writing on it, and I'm like, oh, that would be great to clean up later on. Well, it ended up being a doll's nursing bottle. And I'm like, well, why in the world would a doll's bottle have this much writing on it? Only Toledo.
What were they thinking?
No idea. Well, apparently it gave you what you're supposed to mix together to feed the baby doll. Like, who would have known?
God, I think I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
But it's interesting, right? How often have you found that? So
yeah, that's very true. Very true. But yeah, the embossed ones, even some, like if you're in a time crunch, you just grab what you can take and go out. It gives you something to do research on later.
Yeah, I have a whole pile. The pile of paper plates you have.
Yes.
I have piles here too.
I finally got one cleared out. I've got, I think, 5 more sitting next to me, and 2 cases of, I have a bunch of the different, so I can just swap them out, the different finds pouches and cases. Now I got to figure out, from now on, I got to actually date it so I can remember when and where each of those are from.
Oh, I keep saying I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep a list, because I can't remember anything. You're probably going to ask me some questions, and I'm really not going to know.
Yes, and I've gotten pretty bad, especially I'm sure you've got all that rain that we did as well. So when it's been cold, the ground is wet, and then your hands get wet and you get cold. So I haven't been pulling my camera out as much as I would have. And I'm like, I don't know what these ones are from. It's great. Great. Now, what I should do is wait and get warm in the truck and then take a picture so I can at least figure out the date by the picture.
Yeah. Google is my friend on my phone all the time. I'm trying to share this. I can't even find my own group.
Oh, no.
There it is. Okay. Oops, I'm a slacker sometimes.
Yeah, it's all right. For those that don't know, when we tag this show on Facebook, anyone that clicks on the original link, it just brings you to our Spreaker group and not the actual show. So that's one of the reasons why there's no advertisement or music and it's just silence in the beginning, is because I'm like scurrying to post it, the new link to. So for all those that don't know, that's what the silence is me trying to
doing your pre-show
technology.
Dance, that's what you're doing.
Yep, the technology. And you know this probably with the JHH share the love. You got all that, technology.
Yeah. The technology is always interesting. It never goes the same each time. But, it's so much better now with StreamYard opposed to Streamlabs.
Mm-hmm.
Because Streamlabs is just a glutton on your computer. It uses all your CPU and memory, and StreamYard is just a web-based. It's just super, super easy and doesn't bog down your PC, so you could share pictures and everything with no issues. Just so much better.
And did you say that's StreamYard?
Yeah, StreamYard.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Now, you were just up in, I'm going to butcher the name, but Chazy, New York for Digstock.
Yep.
So, what'd you end up finding up there?
I found like musket balls, largie.
Ooh.
I think it was a natural find.
Awesome.
A couple little pieces of buttons, a bunch of silver in the seated.
Awesome.
Mostly, a lot of, because it was just like they weren't even buried. They were just laying on the top. You couldn't see it because the grass was so high, but really didn't have to dig much in the seated. So that was fun.
Yeah. They just threw it on top with, I think the tokens might have been buried, right? And then,
I think they may have been.
And then basically it was tall grass. Here we go.
It was a blast. I had such a good time hanging out with so many different people, and a few people I hadn't met before, so that's always great.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of friends, because being on YouTube and Facebook, you get a lot of friends in different areas, and you don't get to see each other. So it's nice. It's like the main thing I like about these events is getting together with everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. It's a lot of fun. It was great seeing you. It was great meeting Bobby because I hadn't met him before. So that was really awesome. It was really awesome. So speaking of that, do you have any digs coming up that you might be attending?
I
know it's hard too, because like I know there's digs in Texas and down south, and it's one of those things that there's all these digs right now, but for us it's like, we're getting into that, the cold, the cooler temperatures, the possibility of snow. So it's funny when anybody talks about digs, November or later, you're like, in September of 2022 I've got one.
Yeah.
So
starting in the spring, I may think about that some more, but for right now, not so much. I've been having a lot of get-togethers. You know what? I've just been having a blast lately.
Awesome.
Just getting together with so many different friends. Like Deej, Digga Deej came up with Metal Pirate Girl last weekend. And Deej is in Michigan, Metal Pirate Girl is upstate New York, and they came down for the weekend, and we got together with someone and Shelly of Can You Dig It, and we all went bottle digging, and we just had an amazing time.
Very cool.
They all got such great stuff. I was so happy because that's when I bring people somewhere, I want them to find something, I want them to have fun. It just couldn't have been better. I mean, it could have been better if Nancy was there or Hey, if Amanda was there, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I have to get down to Jersey again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So actually, I think it's been like 12 years. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Pre, yeah, yep. But actually, it'd be even cooler to meet halfway and perhaps go mudlarking at a certain spot near between the two of us.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
No, I know, right? Oh,
yeah,
boy.
that would be awesome. And then the week before that, I went to Connecticut with Mike, M.A. Lyman, 24, and Joe Copperheads, and Kay's Digging It, and Drum and Detect, and Eastern Mountain Booty Hunter. I don't know, he changed his name. I can never keep up sometimes, but so many people. That was a blast, with Mr. Hollywood, Joe De Niro, Mr. Hollywood, SETI, Copperhead. Yeah. His name is like a paragraph.
Yeah, it is. I think when he keeps adding the different nicknames he's getting, so it will end up being a chapter in a book with all the different names.
Yeah.
I
want to go get to dig with DF Digger Dude in Madison, Maine. Those guys.
Joe. Yeah, go up and visit Dennis and Mr. Madison, Maine. That'd be cool. I haven't even gotten up there. I did the math one at one point, and I'm like, yeah, I know we're both in Maine, but it's kind of like, when you're talking upstate New York and say Long Island, New York, it's like what, 5-6 hours. It's kind of what it is in Maine as well.
Yeah. So it took me like 6 hours to get to Chazy. Big stuff. It was such a beautiful drive. I took the long scenic route off the main road, so it was just beautiful. Took a little longer, but it was worth it.
The scenic route. Did you see all the giant nests in Vermont near the water? There was like this one. It was like a state route, a back road, and as you're driving down, all you see are these ginormous, I think they're osprey nests.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
I did not see them.
Let's see. Did you end up taking the ferry at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure which way it brought you up, but yeah, on the way to the ferry, so not far from the ferry, it was an entire like state route that's along the water that like it was every single pole had, the big osprey nests. And I'm like, all right, John, we know where we're going in the spring when they're getting ready to nest. I'm like, we could see more ospreys than ever before.
Oh, that's awesome. Good camera.
Yes. Yeah, so you and he both seem to like the camera stuff.
Yeah, I love it. That's another thing. Last weekend, because I do photography too, so my photography group had a gallery show. So the opening reception was Friday night, and Bobby came, and a couple friends came. It was really cool. Bobby's awesome. He comes to my band shows too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
He's got a Facebook group too. It's called East Coast Metal Detecting. Great group.
Yes. Yeah, I wish I was closer. I would have gone to that gallery show. I love going to stuff like that. All right. What do you still have? Gypsy and I are deciding we do not like calling it a bucket list anymore. Because, bucket list kind of means, you're kicking the bucket and these are the things. So we're calling it a wish list.
I like that.
Yeah. These are items that are on our wish list that eventually, Santa won't bring them. We'll find them ourselves. But Do you have a top of the list wish list that you would share with us that you'd like to find?
Well, I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately because I did find my one item on my wish list that I was not able to find for a long time, that silver thimble.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I got over the summer, so I'm super happy about that. So now I was thinking, what is on my wish list? Because, I have not gotten a Fujio or anything like that, but that would be cool. But what honestly is a very large, intact, complete crotobell. Large one, like big palm of the hand one. Because I've gotten a lot of small ones, but I just like a super big crotobell.
Nice. Very cool.
And Civil War plate or something like that. We don't get a lot of that in New Jersey, so that would be amazing. We get more Revolutionary War things here. I'd like to find what Little Miss Emily is finding. She's finding a lot of amazing things.
She is. She is.
I have gotten a bayonet, but it was like Korean War era, so I'm still looking for that Revolutionary War bayonet. That's on my wish list, too. Someday.
Is there any type of treasure hunting that sounds interesting to you that you haven't done yet?
Scuba diving. I would love to go scuba diving, searching for treasures under the water, and that would be fun. Like, I like the streams and things, but it's really hard to dig. I don't know how Gypsy does it. It's really hard to scoop and walk in the rivers around here anyway. I don't know. But yeah, I would like to try. I'm going to go with Scuba Sonia and do some scuba diving.
Awesome.
Soon, one day.
Awesome. Yeah, that Blue 3, that hookah diving thing is on my list of eventually I'd like to purchase.
Oh, cool. That'd be great. Yeah.
Because I was trying to do the math between the tanks and the gear. What would end up being cheaper? That I think the actual Blue 3 would end up working the best.
Yeah.
Plus you can travel better with it, I think, too. So like say I get to go to Florida or someplace else, I'm like, oh, that would be neat to bring. Blue 3 Nemo. Thank you, DF. I'm like,
yeah, that's it.
Blue 3 Hero. Yeah, nope. GoPro Hero. There we go. No, Bill, I'm not going to try a 10-foot bamboo pole. Yeah, no. So some of the other, I know you do a lot of dump digging. Is there any item that's non-metal that you really enjoy finding?
I love the bottles. I love bottle digging, but let's see, what else is not metal? Marbles. I love marbles.
I didn't want to give away what mine was, because the marbles and the clay pipes are like some of my favorite.
Yeah, I have not gotten a complete clay pipe, only like part of the bowl or part of the stem, but not together yet.
Yeah.
Separately. Yeah. Metal Parker Girl got an amazing marmalade, the jug, the little jar. That was nice. I'd like to get one of them.
I'm trying to think. Was
Arrowheads.
Dundee?
Arrowheads.
Yeah, marbles, arrowheads. Yeah, arrowheads I've yet to find one.
That was like one find that I had on the bay, which I love, the bay right by my house, where I actually, teared up.
Understandable. I think I'd probably cry too.
Yeah.
I think the closest I'm going to get to an arrowhead is I find, you find the old shards of broken glass, like bases in different colors. And there's a guy in Maryland that I'll pick up all that thick broken glass and I send it down to him and he naps them into arrowheads. So I save that old glass. And yeah, I think that's as close as I'm going to get to an arrowhead is one of those. No, we got to figure out.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten more around here, or even up there.
Yeah, near the water, I would think you'd, definitely have found, I don't know. I guess I don't think my eyesight is trained for it yet.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, Ohio seems really good for it. I wasn't even looking at the time. I was just metal detecting with my old faithful bounty hunter, because that's my go-to at the bay for some reason. And I was just digging up this little metal sailor
Like
figurine.
I was just say like a lead soldier? The lead sailor?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he had an American flag, and I was, kneeling down, pulling it out of the hole, cleaning it off. Just started filming, and I looked over, and there it was. It was this black, beautiful arrowhead. I lost it for a minute. I was like, I had to edit that video a little bit. But it was just amazing. It's the only one I ever found around here.
That's great. Yeah, congratulations. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous. Actually, jealous isn't right. It's not the correct. I can't wait for the day I do. We all, we're all like that. I've got to add that to my list. I actually find that I write out the different things I hope to find to kind of put it out in the universe a little bit more. Even though I'm sure we all at some point are you get that sweet signal and you're like, silver, 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 gold. I can.
You know what? You want to hear something funny? It's not funny, but it's, different. So Digger with Deej had this Halloween special, and she had, paranormal stuff. It was amazing. So her guests were saying how they do a little prayer before their adventure or whatever they're doing. And it's always good to, speak to the spirits. And so me and my friends tried that when we went detecting. And the whole morning we weren't finding much. We had lunch, and then we did our prayer to the spirits, and I like to say my Indian ancestors. And we were finding coppers and largies after lunch. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
So I'm doing that every time from now on.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking to the ancestors, I think there's a couple diggers in the UK that I know that they'll give offerings to the ground and whatnot. I've seen them put tobacco in the soil, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, hey, I'll try it all.
Yeah, it worked. It really worked. It was just amazing. I was like, I'm going to be open to this, and
yeah,
it worked. So whatever works.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Have you ever, I think this might have been a question that we've gone over before, but have you ever been out detecting and either found something super strange or had something weird happen or that you could share with us?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of linked to the paranormal again. We were out digging a while back, and it was a hot, humid August day where you're melting, but you're still out in the woods digging, of course. And all of a sudden, walking down the trail, and we're hit a cold patch. Like, all of a sudden, air conditioning was on in the woods. And it lasted for just a few short seconds, and then it was hot again. So it was like a cold spot, you know? So then all of a sudden we're like, oh, let's go this way. So we went that way, and then a silver spill was found of reals and stuff like that, like 3 or 4 different silver coins. So that was weird, right?
Yeah, definitely a little weird. It was leading you to the treasure.
Yeah, it was totally like it was. And then another time I went bottle digging. Oh, Karen says hi. Metal Pirate Girl says hi. Hi, Karen. She's working late. She works too much. But another time I was taking pictures of some mason jars I had done. And, you know, you take your pictures, you clean your jars, take the pictures, make the thumbnail, edit the video, upload the video. And then I actually watched video after that a little bit, and I noticed something in the picture. I'm like, there's a guy standing in my living room. I don't remember. So I'm checking it out. It's like an apparition in the reflecting in the jar of an older guy with like this beige jacket and hat. I'm like, there's no guy in my house. I was alone at the time when I took the picture, and I had no idea until after it was up on YouTube for at least a week. And it was just spooky. I haven't seen anything after, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's good. Well, not good, but good that you haven't seen any more.
Yeah, weird. You know, you find some weird things, like adult toy ones we found.
Oh, jeez.
Crazy.
I have been asked that too before, is do you think, you know, since some of those movies that came out with, you know, items that are haunted and or have attachments and, you know, are you worried that you're going to ever bring something like that home? And it's like, you know, you try not to think about it.
Yeah, I never thought about it until I saw that, and then I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't bring something home, but luckily I haven't noticed anything, and I haven't seen anything else, because you never know, you know. I don't know anything about that, and I don't want to learn about it the hard way.
Yes. Yeah. I know when Gypsy and I were on our last trip, we had a couple situations that were and I just kept, you know, I found all you items, you know, you're going to have a better life than you did before. I'm going to clean you up.
Right? I saved you to appreciate you and share you.
Yep. Like, not going to do anything. I'm not selling you. Yeah.
It's all true. It's all true.
Yeah.
So,
except I'm talking to inanimate objects going.
Pretty much.
Oh my. Yeah, and they wonder why they, you know, if a lot of people think we're crazy. They see us out in field swinging.
Yeah. But then you get, you know, today we ran into this one guy Bobby and I were talking to after, because, you know, when you're packing up, people come up like, you ever really find anything good in here? Sometimes you get to meet some cool people that way. I mean, I've met some people that I've actually stayed in touch with.
Oh, that's good.
From that. And then we did have, you know, the looker that looked like she was about to yell at us person, but
the property owners I have found are all very awesome that I've been dealing with. It's the you know, the random people that, you know, just keep it to yourself.
yeah, sometimes it's a bit much.
Like, yeah, What are you looking for? What do you find? And then they have that,
You're looking for treasure,
yeah.
and
And they just have that like
then they laugh.
tone. And I go, I'm finding trash. That's what I'm doing. I'm picking up trash.
Yeah, and cleaning up from all you people that are littering.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my. Let's see. So is there if you could detect anywhere, where would you detect and why? I know we've done this one before, but I know that after, for a while there, I had one place and then I start seeing all these others,
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that definitely changed. This is where I want to detect.
yeah, it definitely changes. I think someplace around here. I think Gettysburg.
Mm,
Civil War areas. I would like to dig. The ones that are off limits.
yeah.
I would like to be able to dig those.
You never know by working with some of those historic societies. They might,
Well, I did. I got to dig, like Bobby just said, Monmouth Battlefield. I actually got to dig Monmouth Battlefield because I was part of an archaeology group that had rights to dig there. So we had to, flag everything and tag everything. And so that was a big battle here of the Revolutionary War. And we got to dig it, and I found musket balls, and I actually found a Spanish real there.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So that is still in the museum of Monmouth Battlefield Museum. So
Oh, that's so
I love
cool.
that.
So you could
Yeah.
actually go in there and see your find that you found?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You can
neat.
see it. And that's awesome. I love that.
That is. That's very cool.
Seeing history, some people don't like that because when you're with the archaeology groups on there, they get to keep all the finds. I'm like, but the point is saving the history and the thrill of finding it. If it's in a museum, that only makes it so much better.
Yeah. So
Like,
what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm gonna go visit this museum that's got, a whole bunch of stuff I found at this. Yeah, that's way cooler.
That's way cool. I got to get there. I got to get there I haven't been there in a while. I don't even know if it's still there because they do change things out here and there. So,
yep.
I think I'm gonna go there soon. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to let you know if I get down there. I love doing stuff like that, going to the different museums, and one of these days
It's a
I'm
cool
like,
park too.
yeah, I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna have, a couple items, and it's gonna say dug by so and so, and it's gonna be me.
Well, you get a lot of stuff. Like things you find are just amazing. Mudlarking alone.
It's true. Well, too, once you've been detecting or even just any type of treasure hunting, the bottle dump digging, you can come home with bags upon bags of not just bottles, but you get all these relics and different things. And, once you get to a point where you're like, what am I going to do with all this?
Yeah. I mean, my house looks like a museum.
Yep.
There's so many display cases and all kinds of stuff. And, the garage, forget about it. I started putting up shelves up there, and there's tables and buckets and boxes. And I've been giving it a lot of it away.
Yes, same.
Like,
how many spoons can you really have?
Yeah. So many. I mean, they do look nice in displays.
Yes. Let's see. Dennis has a question in chat. He would like, would you ask Audra how the historical societies down near you are? Are they receptive to metal detecting or not?
For the most part, the ones I've spoke with they're interested, but yet when you're like, how about you let me dig on this property, then they're a little not so interesting. They love the stories. I've been invited to speak at some of the meetings and things, but they're so hesitant. I don't know, because it's all the red tape of the government that kind of puts a bump in it. But yeah, they're good, but not so good still at the same time. But the one good thing about the archaeology group is they were in really good with them, so they got special permissions. I don't care if, let me dig and I'll put together a nice little shadow box of everything I find, so you can hang it on the wall, because that's where it should be. It shouldn't be in the ground.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in the ground.
They're deteriorating. The items are...
Yeah.
Yep.
There's so many places around here that George Washington stayed or visited, and now they're all marked as historic sites, but yet you can't save the history that's in the ground, and it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, and there's not enough archaeological students or people in the profession to really, to really get to these sites.
Often.
Yeah.
No, they don't do it often enough and they're knocking down so many things and building up townhouses all over the place.
Yep.
I just saw one last week. A farm was there last summer, and now it's all flattened out, and they're putting up more condos.
We had a bar and hostel down the street that is early 16s, and the Historic Society had permission. Well, I tried to get in with the Historic Society to, let's save some of this, and oh no, they're going to do it on this day or that day, and never got a call back, and I'm in all the other towns around, but my own. And you go by like a month later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's all surveyed out. You go by like 2 months later, and I'm like, all right, you put 4 houses on that property now. That's great. Say goodbye to that history.
It is really sad. It's frustrating.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm like, just give us the opportunity. Like, even when you're out there, that's why I was so happy with some of the excavation sites I got to work this summer. Was phenomenal. Like, you tell me where you're putting the dirt and let me hit that area before you dig up even more. Great. I found so much stuff before they poured concrete. It was like, oh, I feel good about this place now. I saved what I could for you.
Definitely after that, that's great.
Yeah. Let's see. Bill in chat wants to know, this is usually our parting question. So we've got about, 5 minutes or so before we have to close out the show, but we'll ask it now. I think you could probably see it, but if you could be a superhero in Treasure Hunt, who would you be and why?
I'm always chatting in this chat, and I see this question, and I always have a good answer, except now when I'm on the spot. Now I can't think. But I think it would probably be maybe like a popular superhero would be maybe Superman, because my back is killing me after digging all day. And then he flies too, so I could fly to all the different locations, visit all my friends, and dig with them for a day, and then fly back. And
yes,
that would be awesome.
That would be, and time change. You could just keep going with, oh, they're an hour behind us, so I'm going to go there and dig there for another hour. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that works.
That would be great.
That works. So for a reminder for all, so the Jersey History Hunters share the love stream with Bobby and Audra is tomorrow night at 7. Now that is on the Jersey History Hunters stream. Is that how you say it?
Yes, on YouTube.
YouTube. So that is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To those that might be listening and want to check out, that is a little different than the podcast. Podcast, obviously, you can't see us right now. On theirs, you can actually see everyone. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it and see everybody's faces and not just have to listen to us. So that's a little bit different, but fun.
All the time. It's a lot of fun.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you. It was a blast. It's always great to hang out with you, Amanda. Sorry Gypsy wasn't here. She wanted to.
I know. I wish she was because I know she would have had fun. And then, we'll definitely have to talk soon. Maybe we get to that mudlarking spot and maybe another dig or so before, the deep freeze hits us anyway.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we will catch you next Monday night.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, all.